You're listening to the Time to Level Up podcast. I'm your host, business life coach Andrea Liebross. I help women in business commit to their own growth personally and professionally. Each week, I'll bring you strategies to help you think clearly, gain confidence, make your time productive, turn every obstacle into an opportunity, and finally overcome the overwhelm so that you can make money and manage life. Let's create a plan so you have a profitable business, successful career, and best of all, live with unapologetic ambition. Are you ready to drop the drama and figure out the how in order to reach your goals? You're in the right place. It's time to level up. Let's do this. Hey, my friends, welcome to the Time to Level Up podcast. I am thrilled to be here with you today, and we are going to talk about something that I often say. I often say we need to make things simple, doable, and fun. And people look at me and say, yeah, how does that actually happen? So we're going to talk about the 3 steps or stages that you need to go through in order to make something simple, doable, and fun. How's that sound? All right, let's get started. Let's dig right in. Maybe you are listening to this end of March, beginning of April, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's already spring, and I am not feeling like I am getting through the year the way I wanted to. We're already a quarter done. All right, so you might be in a place where you are thinking that something different should be happening. All right. So you might be saying, okay, I'm feeling stuck. You're telling yourself you have no time. You're so busy. You might be saying, I'm not really sure if I want to live what I thought I wanted to live out in 2021, or you're just not feeling it, or you don't know what the action you need to take, or you're not sure why you even thought this was a good idea in the first place. Okay. So why you're not doing what you think you should be doing. Okay. The why kind of behind this, how you perceive your problem. I think there's probably 3 things behind it. So 1, you think you don't know what to do, or you don't know what the next step is. 2, you think that you're just not good at following through. Or 3, you think you just need to do it. Okay, but you let other things get in the way. So we've talked about all of this on the podcast before. We've talked about that follow through muscle, not strengthening it. We've talked about getting things just getting in the way and planning your time on a previous episode. We've talked about all of that. All right. And I know, because I've worked with all of you, that really what you want is you want to be committed to getting to the gym 3 times a week. You want to be committed to reaching out to whoever you need to reach out to. You want to be committed to asking for the raise. You want to be committed to spending more time with your kids. Okay. That's where you want to be. All right. But here's what you've tried. So you've tried to get more knowledge. Okay. This is the talk to more people, the take more courses, the watch more videos, all that kind of passive action. Okay. Which we've also talked about in an episode. You've tried to do the follow through. Maybe you bought the new calendar. Maybe you tried to set really realistic expectations. Maybe you even asked your husband to help you. Okay. So we've talked about that. Also, the thing you've tried is willpower. All right. So we haven't talked a lot about willpower, but this willpower thing where you say, I will start on Monday. I'm going to resist any temptation. All right. Now I want you to notice all of this is really what I call passive action. All the things. And why these actions haven't worked and why you probably haven't worked, okay, in making things happen is because these things that you want to make happen are not in your brain simple, doable, or fun. Okay, so notice the reason things aren't happening is because in your brain, they're not simple, doable, or fun. They're actually complicated, they're hard, they're uncomfortable, and they're not very fun. Going back to my phrase I like to use, who signed me up for this? Okay, who signed me up for this? So they're not simple, doable, and fun. And nor, perhaps, do you have a real clear picture of what this whole thing is supposed to look like. Okay, what's it supposed to look like? All right, so an example I'm going to give you is in launching, okay, a group program. There are so many parts and pieces to this launch of a group program that I never really considered. Okay, and I think I avoided doing it for a while because I felt like it was not simple, doable, or fun. Okay, and I kept telling myself that I would know exactly what I wanted it to look like. And I really was not in alignment with doing the work that it would take. So I was resisting because I felt like I kind of wasn't the perfect match yet to have group coaching programs. So why it hasn't worked, or why I haven't worked on that up until 4 or 5 months ago, is because it wasn't really in line with that motivational triad. Your brain wants things to be simple, doable, and fun. I didn't know exactly what it was supposed to look like. I wasn't in alignment with doing the work that needed to get done, and I was resisting. So here we go into the meat of the podcast. You ready? Here's a process that works to stop telling yourself you should be doing something and commit to doing it. Okay, so number 1, I call the creation phase. The creation phase. And this is where you make things simple. This is where you create the clarity. You move from kind of that preparing your brain to accepting what you want and getting a vision of it. It doesn't have to be a full-blown vision, but some vision. In this creation stage where you're making things simple, you have to get to a place of feeling in alignment with the goal, like you're ready to put in the work. And this is where you do the actions to make it happen for the first time. So when I launched my first group in November of 2020, once that was launched, I got through the creation stage of a launch. Okay, so I moved from just thinking about it to accepting that I was going to make it happen. And I moved into being aligned with doing the work it took. And I did the actions to make it happen. Okay, then step 2 is really the acclimation phase, where this is where you make things doable. So I then launched a second group when I was in this sort of acclimation phase. So in this phase, I had to study the success and failures of the first launch. I really had to look like what worked and what didn't work. Okay. And the other piece of this is it's at this point where I had to kind of identify that, yeah, I'm someone that does groups. I had to kind of put my name tag on that I am a coach that does group coaching. And this was confidence. This was confidence. And once I identified that I was a coach that did group programs, I had to be willing to keep doing it. I had to kind of see and feel and taste the success of it. Like it is not just possible, it is inevitable that I'm going to continue to be someone who does group coaching programs, that creates and launches group coaching programs. So I became acclimated with this idea and I kept going. I launched another in January and one in March. Then step 3 comes along. And this is where the fun happens. Remember, simple, doable, and fun. So the fun happens in the acceleration phase. All right. So when you're in this acceleration phase, this is where you make sure that you have time for everything, including work, including family, including celebrating, including fun. Right? This is where you start to change from not thinking about everything as an obstacle, but as an opportunity. So all those little bumps in the road, you have fun with them. You see what you can do with it. Okay? This is also where you have to be willing to really do whatever it takes to continue to live out your identity. Like I have to do everything it takes to continue to launch groups so that I can help more and more women. And I have had to learn to trust in the process and trust myself. And I really just surrender to the fact that this is who I've become. Okay, so in the creation stage, you're making things seem simple. In the acclimation phase, you make things doable. And then in the acceleration phase, that's when you start to have more and more fun. And you make it fun. You look at things with fun in your glasses. All right, so why does all of this work? Well, why these 3 steps work is because it makes you an expert at trying things and failing. Do you know how many times I tried something in that launch that failed? A bunch. Okay, I tried different types of marketing. I tried different messaging. I tried offering different classes. I tried lots of things. I tried to reach women in different ways. Some of them I tried and were great. Some of them were fails. Okay. The other reason that going through these 3 steps works is because you have to get to a place where you are aligned with the motivational triad of your brain, where things are like your brain wants them to be, simple, doable, and fun. You stop resisting. Because if you keep resisting and resisting and resisting, it's never going to happen. And the third reason why these 3 steps work is because as you're going through this process, it addresses both your mindset and the tactical piece of things. It addresses both strategy and systems with getting yourself the support you need. All right. But as you work through the 3 steps, this is what you're going to experience. It's going to be both uncomfortable and rewarding. It's going to be hard and get easier. You know, everybody always says like things get easier as you try them. It's true. It's true. Okay. And you will have experience in answering the questions that have been keeping you in the just thinking stage about things, that have been keeping you from getting what you want. Okay. So the skills that you're going to develop as you work through these 3 steps, you're going to learn how to manage your mind. You're going to learn how to manage your time. You're going to learn how to go from thinking small to thinking big. That's going to happen. That's totally going to happen. Okay. If you work with me actually inside Committed to Growth, inside our group, this is the kind of work we do. And we become experts at using my number 1 tool, the model, which really helps you get clear, and it helps you create a strategy, and it helps you create the result you're looking for. Okay. So you also will start to be able to better understand when and how to work with others, when something should be delegated, how you should be collaborating. And you're going to become an expert at asking for help on a whole different level. And lastly, you really become comfortable in investing in yourself. Okay. We have 3 resources available to us. Remember, we have time, and we have money, and we have brain power. So you become an expert and you become comfortable investing your time, investing your money, and investing your brain power in creating the results you want. You really are in charge. I mean, it sounds so cliche, but it's totally true. You really are in charge of creating the results you're looking for. Okay. I found this to be true in so many aspects of my life. I found it to be true in my business. I found it to be true in my weight loss journey. I found it to be true in my parenting, honestly, and in my relationship. Okay. So to sum up, this is the thing. You have to go through the process of creating and getting clear. You have to go to then being acclimated to what it feels like to have success, which has to do with confidence. And then you get to go to the acceleration phase where things become fun as they speed up and you learn to trust in yourself. So that's it, my friends. Creation, acclimation, acceleration, simple, doable, and fun. And this is the kind of work that we do over and over and over again inside coaching, inside any kind of coaching I do, whether I'm working with a group, an individual, a leadership team, all of it. This is the kind of thing I do over and over and over again because it's an ongoing process, right? Because one thing becomes accelerated and then you've got something that you're back starting in the creation phase with. And if you can accept that, you're going to go a whole lot further. Okay, check out my free download on this, which gives you these basic steps. And go check out all the kinds of ways in which I can work with you on my website. Okay, AndreaLiebross.com is the website. And I would encourage you to get on my newsletter list. Subscribe to the podcast, download some freebies, watch the videos in there. Okay. Because by doing this, you're supporting yourself as you go along the journey of creating, acclimating, and accelerating. As you go along the journey of making things simple and doable and fun. It's hard to do this work alone. My client, Ellie, she, over the past year, has gone through this process in multiple aspects of her business. And she has become what we call now $1 Million Ellie. It's kind of a fun little phrase, but that's what she's become. So if you haven't listened to the episode where she talks about creating $1 Million Ellie, which dropped, I believe, on March 18th, it is bonus episode number 6, I believe. Okay. Check it out because this is exactly the process she went through. This is exactly the process my client Jessie went through in bonus episode 3. It's exactly the process that my client Cindy went through in bonus episode 5. If you haven't listened to those bonus episodes, go take a peek. And I want to talk one more minute about that fun piece. So last week, I had a DJ come on Zoom. So he was in one little Zoom box and I had all my clients in their homes or wherever they were in all the other boxes. And that DJ Shammy, was live from LA. He was taking requests. He was playing music and we all were dancing by ourselves in our own spaces, but as a community. And it was fun. End of story. It was fun. It was so much fun. And it allowed us to see kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel as we start to get our act together, as we start to accelerate forward in whatever we're creating, we can infuse fun actually throughout the whole process. But that was really one of the highlights of my February. And I just wanted to share it with you. And you know why I did that? You know why I hired DJ Shammy? Because I can. And I recognize that if we're not having fun along the way, it's just not worth doing. Okay, my friends, head over to my website, check out all the ways we can work together, sign up to get my newsletter, subscribe to this podcast so they just arrive into your favorite podcast player. You can also listen to all the episodes right on the website and see the show notes. Give yourself the support you need to make things simple, doable, and fun. Because why not? All right, go have a great rest of your day. Until next time, it's time to level up. Talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you're ready to commit to personal and professional growth, move forward, make money, and manage life, head to AndreaLiebross.com. That's AndreaLiebross.com to find out about the ways we can work together. Until next time, go level up.